Welcome, bounty hunters and Star Wars fans alike. It is I, Jason, the Tuscan Toast, in beautiful Miami, Florida. And with me, as always, is Brian, the charismatic Carillion, in San Antonio, Texas. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show, Brian. So good to see you again. How are you doing, my favorite cousin?
Tuscan Toast. How are we doing? You're sporting that dapper robe this evening.
Oh yes, I just got it. I just got out of the shower, and it's laundry night.
It's not a Jedi robe, but it's
no. It's
I don't know if Kenobi's going to be sporting that on the Kenobi series, but
no, and I'm going
something a shade darker.
And just to let you know, I am full commando under this. For all you ladies out there,
I'm pretty sure I didn't need to know that. As a matter of fact, I'm positive that I didn't need to know that.
Well, TMI, it's just a thing, and it's a way of life with me. If you follow my Facebook or my Instagram. But hey, Brian. How are things, Brian? It was a short week, but it's kind of been a busy week.
It's pretty much crept up on us. I mean, the show just really crept up on us this week.
Kind of came out of nowhere.
The weekend flew by. There were some college football games over the weekend to start. The only one of note, I think, was Nebraska and Illinois, which Nebraska came out with another donut, or another, not a donut, but another, what is it? Another epic fail for a season opener.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. I'm fine with that because I'm not a Cornhuskers fan.
You're not a Cornhusker?
Not by any stretch of the imagination, no. Nope.
Oh, okay. Nope.
So I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with them, losing all the time.
Let's go win this.
It's funny that you mentioned that because right before we got on, we were talking about the football season. The NFL football season kicks off next week, Thursday, here in Florida, where the defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will play our dear God, our poor Dallas Cowboys. And it's just so funny because
you're a Florida resident now. That almost
I am
obligates you to root for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I am. I am a Florida resident officially. I have voted. I voted in the last election, aggregate election, the presidential election, as a Florida resident. And I mean, just like in Texas, my candidate didn't win the state, but whatever. So I have never voted for the winning candidate.
I am the same. So
since I've been an adult, I'm 40 years old, mind you, and since I started voting in presidential elections, my candidate has never won the state that I live in. But I mean, it is what it is. I grew up in Texas, super conservative. I'm a super tree hugging liberal, so
love it.
That's just how it is. That's just how it is. But whatever, not hating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not too far up the road, our illustrious and poor Dallas Cowboys, will most likely get their asses handed to them.
Going to be a long night.
Are
they handing out the rings that night?
I don't know. I don't believe they're handing out the rings. They're unveiling the banner. And having to watch
Gotta love that. Love that.
Well, having to watch that with Tom Brady there is going to be very hard and excruciing, because I hate him so much. I mean, I have like this deep hatred for this guy, and having to go through that just to watch the Cowboys is going to be really hard. It's going to be it's going to be a very emotional and tough day for me. And I hope everybody knows that. And I appreciate everybody if they would reach out and give me some words of encouragement, because I'm going to be in a very fragile mental state.
Words of encouragement? It's after the game is over. You're going to need like therapy.
No, because I'm used to that. I'm used to that.
Are you? Oh,
I'm used to losing. 26 years. I'm used to losing. All right. It's just adding insult to injury. Like, I'm already down, right? I'm already getting beaten all the time, right? And like Captain America, hey, I can take this all day. But then all of a sudden, I get a kick to the groin, and that's Tom Brady doing that. So that's that's how it's going to be next week, and I'm mentally preparing myself. And of course, probably going to take some Xanax to kind of calm myself down.
Oh man, now it's getting serious.
Yeah, now it's getting serious. But anyways, I'm being melodramatic about this whole thing. But anyways, back to nerd stuff and Star Wars. So, you know, the last show we ended right on a really high note with you know, the Spider-Man trailer being released as we were on air, and we went on there. Cool. We stopped so we wouldn't get a stupid copyright hit, and then we dissected it a little bit, and I mean, I think we're both excited.
You know, more so than the Doc Ock thing. What really had me verklempt.
Verklempt. You haven't used that word in a long time, man.
No, I haven't.
You haven't.
What really had me verklempt was not really so much the Doc Ock appearance, but was one single object.
Okay, what was that?
The Green Goblin grenade.
Oh yeah, Willem Dafoe's gonna be back.
Not just the Green Goblin grenade, but you heard his laugh.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd imagine he's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't really spoken to it directly, but if they're throwing Doc Ock out there, I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I found very interesting about that and about learning about who's all going to be in this movie is, you know, afterwards I went in and, you know, throughout the week I kind of started reading some articles on the whole thing and then how this all came to be, because Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, the cinematic rights currently. Hold on, but
there's some stuff to that.
yes and no. So they had the rights to the cinematic to the cinematic rights to the Spider-Man franchise, but they had a deal with Marvel Studios and Disney to have Spider-Man in the Avengers, or I'm sorry, in the starting in Civil War, in Captain America Civil War, and then so on. Well, there was some negotiations that kind of went stale or kind of went south, and then they were going to pull out and not do this anymore, and then everyone got upset and Tom Holland got involved, and now they restructured the deal, and this allows Disney access to the library of characters from the cinematic movies that Sony put out. So this is great, because now you're able to bring these characters, not only just the characters, but the actors that play those characters in, and we're having this true multiverse thing. And I think it's incredible. It's only a win for the fans at this point.
Now to make things more interesting, the Sony still has 100% control over the villains.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Ah,
so
okay.
Now, word is that, and by the way, I have guests in here, so you're just going to have to deal with it.
You got the kitty committee, I got it. Yep.
Yeah.
All good?
Even though they have total control right now, the word is that Disney is making their play.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just a numbers thing at this point. So
yeah, and I think it is.
Now that's kind of gone on the back burner, because right now, I'm sure as everyone knows, Disney is dealing with some different litigation right
now. What are you talking about? I'm not
aware. Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which I don't get.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did Disney announce Premier Access? Right.
Well, it's been about a year,
right? In 2020.
Yeah, it's been about a year. I think, because we had a really long discussion about it. Yeah.
So they telegraphed it. Hey, we're gonna drop big release hits on Premier Access until theaters reopen, and if they do reopen a little bit, we're still gonna drop it on Premier Access along with the theatrical date. They telegraphed it out there.
Okay.
She is arguing that her contract was dependent upon theatrical release gross. Her cut was going to be dependent upon those numbers. So she's upset that it was not a theatrical release only.
Well,
But
this
my
see,
thing is she had to have known.
not only that, Brian, but this is not something new. This is something that the studios try to pull on the actors quite often, saying you will make X amount of the profit of this film when it releases in theaters. Now, what they will do is some fancy accounting, and they will actually consider the movie a loss. So they did not actually make any money, so the actor gets nothing. So, if I were a smart man, which I'd like to believe that I am, others will argue that I'm not, and I will argue with them that I am. I would say I want X amount of dollars. Regardless, you are going to compensate me this amount of money for my services rendered here, and that's it. And whatever this movie makes in profits, in whatever, I don't care, because I've already negotiated my price to render my services to your movie. She didn't do that, apparently. I don't know it. I don't know the whole thing. I don't know everything. But if it's true what you're saying, 100% that's what she's arguing, that she was supposed to take a percentage off of the theatrical release, gross dollars, right? Not profit. Maybe if it's just gross dollars.
Yeah, gross dollars.
She should not have negotiated that. That was a bad deal. That was her screwing herself. So maybe she was thinking, oh, these Marvel movies are doing so great, there is no way that I am not going to make a healthy profit from these movies being released and making X amount of money.
Right, but she should have been looking to renegotiate that deal from the second the pandemic hit. So, I mean, her and her team should have been ahead on that. But
right, when did Black Widow start filming? Let's look at that real quick. So let's see how much lead time she actually had when this happened. So this movie so this movie, the script writing began in February of 2019. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's when the script writing began, and then filming began May 28th of 2019. Okay, this was long time ago.
Before the pandemic hit.
Before.
But when, I mean, they were in post then for quite a while when the pandemic got bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, so, not only were they in post, but
they were probably done.
Yeah, they were done, and they were sitting on it, waiting to see if they could release it theatrically. And then Disney started making some business moves, having this premiere access that some people are paying for, and trying to recoup those costs.
Yeah,
which is okay, and I'm from a business standpoint, I'm warming up to it, because right now it doesn't look like a whole lot of people are going to the movies. Okay, it just doesn't look like that based on my experience.
They started to matriculate back in, and then now we're on this new surge. So now it's kind of resetting back to where it was. But it's going to be interesting in the coming months, because Shang-Chi is theatrical only. Spider-Man is going to be theatrical only.
Oh yeah, and come pandemic or Atom Bomb, I'm going to that movie. I'm going to the midnight release. It's for the Spider-Man. I'm going to the midnight release, if they have a midnight release. Actually, they probably will have a 4 p.m. They've been doing this lately, and I don't know if they're going to continue to do this, but when Avengers Endgame came out, they had a 4 p.m. showing over here at the Dolphin Mall at Cena Bistro, and it was the very first showing in South Florida, and I had tickets to it, and I went. And that was the day before. It was that Thursday evening. So it was a 4 p.m. showing. And movies start normally around 11 or so in the day, or 12 or 1. But this was the first showing of Endgame. So I went to go see it. I don't know if they're going to do that here, but if they do that or a midnight showing, I'm in. Totally in. So it's just kind of interesting how the business, right? The business has shaped.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, we'll see how it all pans out. I'd imagine after everything is said and done that we could probably expect that Scarlett Johansson and Disney are probably not going to work together anymore. But because you have all this multiverse stuff, it doesn't mean that there's not 30 different versions of Black Widow out there. So
That's true. That's true.
You know, you find another actor and you press on like, oh, well, we have this Black Widow from this universe. So, I mean,
look,
that
Loki was female. There was a female Loki. There could be a male Black Widow.
Apparently, there's some debate about that, but I don't know how you debate it.
It's just a show, man. I mean,
you know, what was worse, the Luke Leia kiss or their interest in each other between the two Lokis?
Oh, well, you know what? And believe it or not, Brian, I have thought about this because then I was thinking to myself, what if there was
Loki's interest was worse? It was worse.
No,
it was
because you know what, man? If I had a female version of me, me, I would be super attracted to myself. I would be super hot as a female. Whatever female form I took, I'd be super hot. I'm just saying.
See, okay, this is just getting weird already. So I don't. You know, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend a whole hell of a lot of time on this because it was already weird enough in Loki. So.
Let's go weird. It's gonna get weird.
No, I don't want to go. You know, no, weird was last Monday with Unibrow Vampire from Buck Rogers. That was.
Oh, I can't get that image out of my head.
No, me neither. I had a hard time.
I had a hard time all week. I can't get that image out of my head.
That's one of the worst. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I mean, like you said, the outfit was cool, but everything else was kind of a miss.
Yeah, I liked how he was wearing Johnston and Murphy loafers in space. But
in space.
In space. But let's move on because did I spell
Kenobi?
Oh. Yeah,
Kenobi.
Let's talk Kenobi, but you know what, Brian? I want to fix something first because I feel like I feel uneducated at this moment.
Soundbite?
No. Well, yeah, sure. Why not? Soundbite.
God! What a Mrs.
Not that one.
Sorry.
We just talk Kenobi.
You said it. You said it.
The right soundbite.
Do I have that?
Yes.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there.
Okay. Do I have another one?
No, that's it.
That's all I have?
Yeah, that's all you have.
Oh.
For Kenobi.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I got one.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that doesn't really fit the context. But guess what? I spelled resurrections wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at that.
They're just going to have to forgive us.
Well, I'm going to fix it.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm going to fix it, though.
You're still going to fix it mid-show?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that's dedication.
Well, I mean, hold on. Why does that look weird to me? Maybe it's because it's in all caps. Hold on. Like I said, I don't claim to be smart. Oh, okay. It still looks weird. Why?
Maybe it's the blue lettering.
Yeah. It is because it's in caps. That's why it looks weird to me. Anyways, it's fixed. There we go. Okay, so let's talk Kenobi because this is some cool stuff, man.
So, someone that was on the set of Kenobi put together some drawings of what he saw, and he was on set while they had Hayden Christensen in not the suit of Vader, but like kind of Vader's. I don't know if people remember, think back to Rogue One, but there was that whole getup he had when he was inside the Bacta tank, about to come out. So
yeah.
It appears that, at least if nothing else, I don't know if this could end up on the cutting room floor, right? Because we all know that not 100% of concepts and stuff that they film are used. Some stuff gets cut, so it just happens. But it appears, at least for now, they're toying with the idea of him coming out of the Bacta tank before he suits up. I love it. Like, I felt like we didn't ever get enough of that stuff.
No, we didn't.
The original trilogy or the prequel trilogy or any of it.
No, we didn't.
And now we're going to see it. So
right.
This
and
is actually...
there was something else that that I had brought up a long time ago when we were talking about Rogue One and we were talking about Darth Vader and how excited we were about him being shown in forms that we only really heard about, and his brutality and how lethal he was, and how it was finally shown in Rogue One in the end when he slaughters all of those rebellion soldiers that were there in that corridor, and you just see this powerful, immense being that we only really either read in books or heard about in prose, during the movies when they're talking about him, and how villainous and evil and just angry this character was. And we finally got to see it being portrayed on film, and it was it was incredible, and it was
cooler than
20 plus years in the making to see this. Now, I know this is already an older movie, right? I mean in the context of new stuff that's coming out. In the context of things that are coming out already right now with Star Wars, but Rogue One should have set the precedence of what we are seeing now as far as shows, as far as new movies, the things that we hear about, the things that were talked about in Star Wars, because there's a lot of retrospect that goes on in these conversations between characters in the Star Wars films. And at just how evil Darth Vader is, we saw it. We saw his complete disregard for life, and how easily he was able to slaughter these men. It was an incredible, powerful scene, and I don't think people give it enough credit. But I think people like us do, right? That are very dedicated to this. But for those who really don't go back and see this, you need to see this Darth Vader scene, because it is dark, it is ominous, and it is and the music that is used, the background music,
it's great.
It is eerie, and it fits so perfectly, because he just absolutely slaughters them so easily. It doesn't even look like he's putting any effort into it.
It's not even phasing him. Like,
it's absolutely incredible. And the more that we see of that, right, it further gives equity, right, to the essence of what we believe that Darth Vader is, and he is the most powerful and lethal and evil being in the galaxy at the time. So this is why we are excited.
The concept art of this, or not concept art, but what the guy saw that he rendered, I mean, it's exciting, but even more so than all this Vader stuff, there's something more that I would want to see, even more than that. I want to see a Sith Inquisitor. I want to see either the Sith Inquisitor from Rebels or the Second Sister, something.
Well, and for those who haven't really gotten into either Rebels or Clone Wars, you're not going to know too much about Inquisitors. You're not. Now,
so I mean, for the background on that, Sith Inquisitors were who the Emperor, who were Force sensitive, and they're not even really Sith apprentices, but they're pretty much they're lightsaber trained, they're Force sensitive, and they're pretty much who the Emperor got together to go round up the loose ends of Order 66. These guys were going to go out there and they were going to hunt the survivors of Order 66.
Right.
So that's who the Inquisitors were.
Yeah, and that's who they are. And for those who have followed those shows, you know that they were big characters. They are very big characters, and
oh yeah.
They went out and they eradicated the rest of the Jedi, minus a couple here and there, a few here and there. So yes, that would be great, because it gives the last 7, 8 years now of Clone Wars and Rebels a little bit more to kind of chew on, and have these Sith Inquisitors, which I think was a great addition to the Star Wars universe, because then now it adds another element, right, of evil to what the Sith is, because
without question.
Because when you watch these movies and you watch these shows, you hear of the Sith, and even in the movies, the Sith are maybe not legendary, but it's something that they think exists, may have existed, doesn't really exist anymore. We don't really know, because they're so clandestine. And now with the Emperor being the Emperor as he is, you don't really need to be clandestine. You can rule as you see fit, and you can have this secret police to go out and do your bidding. And it's happened in the course of human history, so why not happen in the Star Wars universe as well? And plus, it adds another interesting element, to the evil that's consuming the galaxy at the time. So it's great. I mean, I agree with you. Yes, a Sith Inquisitor would be great for this show, and I think we see it.
You got people out there that want Maul involved, and I'm not trying to be an anti Darth Maul guy, but I gotta tell you, I mean, we've already had Darth Maul with chicken legs. We've already had him with his prosthetics.
Right.
We've seen him in Rebels. We've seen him in season 7 of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all Darth Mauled out. The Sith Inquisitor would be more fresh. I get it. He's Darth Maul's menacing looking.
Right.
He's got a red face with horns. Ooh, okay. I understand.
Well, I agree, because I don't think you need to anymore, because I think we've kind of exhausted Darth Maul's story in Clone Wars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted it, because we know how he survived. We know that he was killed by Obi-Wan in the desert. We know that he fought Ahsoka.
Yep.
We know everything that he tried to do. Right?
It's done, man. It's done.
It is. And we've exhausted his character at this point.
We're not disrespecting him. We're not disrespecting him.
No. But you do have to move on, because that story's been told already.
I mean, there's only so much twine in the ball, right? You're going to run out of twine. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. So, bring the Sith Inquisitors instead. Give us, give us some new thread.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
And that would be, and I think that, writers know this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They do. They know this. They're like, hey, let's bring Darth Maul back. Oh man, we've overdid him. He was even in Solo. You know? So,
which obviously they had plans, right?
Right.
Which that's why it makes me nervous for Kenobi, that he might end up in there, because they might try and use Kenobi as a means to bridge what they wanted to do after Solo.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind if he's there, right? If it is Ray Park,
if we see Quora in Kenobi, then it's a done deal. We already know that they're going to be bringing the, what is it? What was his cartel?
I don't know. That's your lane, bro.
My lane?
That's your lane.
Does it always have to be my lane? Sometimes I need help.
Do you see a bunch of Star Wars stuff in my room? No, because
Crimson Dawn.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So because Quora is now the head of Crimson Dawn.
Right.
Well, she's not the head of it. Maul is the head of it, but she's pretty much taken over the faction that. Oh hell! Now I'm stuck on another one. But, she's pretty much taken over that faction that was in Solo, and she's reporting to Maul now.
Okay.
So if she ends up in Kenobi, they're gonna be involving Crimson Dawn with Maul. It goes without saying.
That would be fine, but I don't think
it's clear that I don't want it.
Yeah, but I don't think you need. Okay, but if you do, I don't think you need to spend a lot of time on it.
No, 1 episode, 8 minutes.
Maybe
move on.
At most.
At the most. Touch on it. touch on it, because what you can do with that is just shove it in a book of Boba Fett after that or something. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, make it 30 years later, whatever.
Sure, but bring Inquisitors into the mix, and then
Yes, I want a Sith Inquisitor.
Right, and then
I want a Sith Inquisitors plural.
It ties more in.
Yeah, definitely.
It ties more into Rebels.
It makes a lot more sense to put them in there, because you're fresh off Order. You're 10 years off Order 66.
Yeah.
I mean, Leia and Luke are gonna be 10 years old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I believe they already casted the 10-year-old Leia.
Really?
Forgot her name.
We're gonna see that here.
Yeah, they cast her. Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Which I'm interested to see what she's like at 10 years old, because I'm assuming that Leia at 10 was probably more like 16 at 10. I mean,
growing up fast. Yeah.
She would have to, because I mean, Bail Organa is like just up to his neck in it right now at this point of the timeline. I mean,
because he's an active part of the rebellion, right? Or is he? What is he at that point?
So the rebellion is still like being formed, pretty much. So, but he's active in getting it off the ground. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So, which would make her, I mean, she's a lot like what we saw with Hera in Bad Batch. I'd imagine she's like that. Which Hera was older, but still, I mean, I would just imagine that she's way more mature and way more involved at 10 than your standard 10-year-old. Like she's not going to be like accessorizing her Barbies or something. That's not going to be.
All right. I mean, who knows? Maybe. I don't know. Okay. I mean, we'll see. When does Kenobi come out again?
Well, Book of Boba Fett's December, so I think it's reasonable to say that Kenobi would have to be the spring. I forget when Andor is supposed to hit. I can't remember if Andor is before Kenobi or after.
Let's see. It's 2022, of course. It just says 2022. It's gonna have 12
for
episodes.
Andor.
Yeah.
So that could mean a lot. That could mean fall.
Yeah.
I would say if Kenobi's the spring, then I would say that Andor is the fall. Now, Kenobi's only 4 shows. So you could put Andor in the summer of 2022.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't wrapped Andor yet. They're not.
Because you still have Ahsoka.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, so you could go Kenobi spring, Andor in the summer, and then Ahsoka gets the fall.
But you know what, Brian? Let me ask you this: we have a lot coming up through.
That's ridiculous.
We have a lot. I mean, it's a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Disney go from here?
How do you mean?
Well, what do you do? What do you do once you finish Andor? What do you do once you finish Kenobi? What do you do? Well,
you got Rogue Squadron hitting in 2023 in theaters.
Okay, all right.
Directed
Okay.
by Patty Jenkins. God help us all.
Okay, all right. So, where do we see?
Not that I used to like Patty Jenkins until I Wish came about.
Oh yeah, the Wonder Woman movie that sucked.
The first Wonder Woman was great. I had no issues with her then, but now I'm concerned. So.
All right. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, that's okay. I get it. But I mean,
that's where you go. I mean,
where are we seeing the Star Wars cinematic universe going now that the Skywalker saga is over and done with, as we know it?
Original content.
What is going on now with
new and original content, like this Rogue Squadron thing? Okay. I mean, it's something we haven't seen.
So is Star Wars a universe, and is it a medium focused on the Force and the Jedi and lightsabers, or
No, that's
is
just
it,
a facet of it.
or is it focused on constant conflict?
I wouldn't even be too sure if you could say constant conflict. I mean, because when you look at something like The Mandalorian, that's not necessarily conflict, necessarily.
Right.
There's a lot going on in there other than conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this Rogue Squadron film, you could do something on the Bounty Hunters Guild. You could do something on. You could go. Well, now they're calling it the High Republic, I believe, not Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go back to the Jedi Sith Wars and go focus on that, or you could go.
Okay. So the reason I asked that is exactly why you just said that. Okay, the Jedi Sith Wars. Okay, so we're focusing on original content. Okay, this is what I want more than anything out of everything that's going to happen in the future and in my lifetime, and I pray to God I have another 40 years to go.
This sounds pretty big.
So what I want to see is, like, we have seen everything from the height of the Jedi Order to the fall of the Jedi Order to the resurrection.
I'm not too sure I agree that we've seen the height of it.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, not the height of it. The prevalence of it. So we've seen the prevalence of the Jedi Order, the fall of the Jedi Order, and the resurrection of
the
Jedi.
Yeah.
Not the Order, but I don't know. I really don't know how episode, how the last episode ended. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, you had Rey, and she buried 2 lightsabers, and that's it. I don't know what happens from there. And really, frankly, I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. I frankly don't care. Because it's over, it's done with. But
I think the yellow blade had a lot of significance to that.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm not too worried about that. What I want, more than anything, is I want to see the beginning of all this. I want to see where this all started. Did we see this, or did I see this? I don't remember. My mind is a little blank on this. Where they had the proto lightsabers, and it actually had like a hip pack with a cable attached to it, and this was like the genesis of the lightsaber.
So I never saw those type of sabers going into Old Republic stuff. I have not seen that. But,
okay, so maybe that was something I saw and I just kind of dismissed it. But
this could be the trilogy that they're saving for Rian Johnson.
Well, okay, great, and I will. That's fine.
Great. You think great?
Yes, I think it'd be. Oh, yes,
Rian Johnson.
And this is why, because Rian Johnson now, he has no expectations to live up to. He can just do this. He can just do this, and no one can say, "Oh, it should have been done this way or it should have been done that way." Dude, you go all the way back to the very beginning, and you start seeing like proto Jedi, proto lightsabers. Man, I mean, you can't screw it up because it's your story to tell. It really is. So you take the very beginning, like, where did Jedi come from? How did we figure out what the Force is? I'm a huge history guy. I mean, how did we get to this point? That story in itself has to be so interesting because there could have been wars as to who controls the Force. How do we channel this? How do we make it a force for good? How do we make it a force for evil? Where did it split? I mean, these are massive, great, compelling stories that could be told in many different ways. So that's what I want to see. Like after we get through this, right? Kenobi, Andor, Rogue Squadron, all this cool stuff that we've been expecting. Let's go back to the very beginning. Let's go back to the genesis of what this is and where we think it all started, because now we can just tell whatever story we want. Well,
also you have Acolyte coming as well, and Acolyte is supposed to be the Sith story. Now, Acolyte, though, is getting directed by... That's another female director.
Okay.
And it's the one that directed that series on Netflix or something, but she's getting Acolyte. So
it's a Sith story.
It's supposed to be a Sith story.
Okay, this is great. This is great because we need that. We've been seeing so much Jedi, and are they good? I don't know. Are they so into their religion that they believe that it's the only thing without being open-minded? I don't know. But we need to see the other side. And this Sith story, any Sith story, right, based on evil, right, has to be interesting, compelling, and my God, I would be foaming at the mouth to hear this, right?
Well, it'd be neat to see just how they came up with the rule of two. I mean,
right there was a novel that explained that, but since Disney has kind of
Expanded Universe is out,
right?
But we've already seen it multiple times already. We've already seen it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they won't pluck.
Which is okay. You can cherry pick. Cool.
Yeah,
cherry
sure.
pick.
Why not?
Yeah, sure. Cherry pick. It's yours now. You owned it. You paid millions of dollars to George Lucas for it. George, you can do whatever you want. But do something with it. Do something with it. Go back. Do another 9 movies. Okay. Do another 9 movies where it's all the beginning of the Jedi and the splintering of the Sith. Do it that way. Make it Lord of the Rings, okay, but in Star Wars form. Make it this massive war between the Jedi and the Sith instead of just a select few.
Just as long as they don't do an extended edition of it.
How long was that? Like 6 hours?
The extended Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
They're like 4.5, something like that.
Each, right?
But then, I mean, like the big running joke on that is the Lord of the Rings extended challenge. I mean, people challenge each other. Okay, I challenge you to do the Two Towers extended edition, the entire movie plus all the appendices. Like,
oh my God,
that. Yeah, no.
Oh, I would need a lot of alcohol to get through that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm not into that too much. I mean, yeah. Lord of the Rings was great. Don't get me wrong. Peter Jackson did a great job. All the actors did a fantastic job. I think it was a very well done movie. But those kind of movies like the Harry Potters and Lord of the Rings and what is it, Game of Thrones? I mean, I don't know what you can, like, fantasy, right? Fantasy movies. Right? Yeah, those just don't jive with me. And I don't know why. I'm Star Wars, Star Trek, anything that has to do with sci-fi. I mean, that's more me. And, all of this mythical stuff.
I think we have all Fetts fans that are just upset that they're not in the show enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I've got this one and 3 others just yeah.
Oh man, look at you! You're cat dad now. You're cat dad.
I think you had some stuff though on the Book of Boba Fett, didn't you?
Well, yeah. So, Robert Rodriguez, right?
Who's that?
he is directing.
By the way, little known fact, and one of our listeners, if he wishes to comment, Robert Cepeda, I know you're out there listening, so comment. But if he wishes to comment, he can verify this. So both he and myself went to school with Robert Rodriguez.
What? Really? Where? Where? St. Cecilia?
St. John's the Evangelist.
He went to St. John's? No kidding.
He did? Yeah, he was like in 8th grade when we were in 6th, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
His sister went there, so.
St. John's? You went to St. John's?
St. John's.
I thought you went to St. Cecilia's.
No, St. John's.
No, my dad went to St. Cecilia's.
Oh, is that it?
That's right. My dad went to St. Cecilia's. Yeah, that's right. Okay, you went
Yeah,
to
so
St. John.
little known fun fact there.
Oh, all right. Well, you went to all right with the director of Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico,
And
Shark Boy, and Lava Girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The esteemed director of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
So what do you say about the Book of Boba Fett? What do you say?
So he came out and he said, "Well, Book of Boba Fett is gonna blow your mind." And so
does this mean he's directing an episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's the first episode. So he says it's gonna blow your mind.
He's directing the first episode. How'd you get?
It was in that article I was telling you about.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, he's directing the first episode, but he didn't really say why. He just said I was reading it. I was like, it's gonna blow your mind. Okay. If you have Selma Hayek in there, it'll blow my mind. But I don't think he's going to. I don't know. Maybe he could.
Line. He could. He's Robert Rodriguez. He could make a phone call.
Oh yeah.
Could happen.
That'd be cool. You know what I'd love? I'd love if he brought Quentin Tarantino to do a cameo in Book of Boba Fett. Oh my God, that'd be great. They
could be at a cantina bar talking about how they shouldn't tip.
Yeah, it would be so.
Who's gonna
cool.
throw in?
It'd be so cool.
Who's throwing in?
If they did something so unapologetically Quentin Tarantino in a Book of Boba. I mean, just for a minute. I mean, just to kind of, have a little fun with it. But that'd be great. But that's what he said. It's gonna blow your mind.
Now,
I'm not expecting any less, Mr. Rodriguez. But I am very confident that Book of Boba Fett will blow all of our minds.
For me, the exciting thing that I've heard is that they're going to throw in Cad Bane.
All right. And you want Cad Bane to do what?
I would like, this is going to be very unpopular, I would like to see Cad Bane hand Boba Fett his ass.
Really?
Just walk up to Boba Fett and say, "You ever see your ass? Here. There it is. There's all the shapes and contours of it in case you haven't seen it."
So
just Cad Bane, just hand him his ass.
So
I would like to see it.
So we had a saying in San Antonio. I'm sure you've heard this before, and not a whole lot of people. Not a whole lot of people are going to get it. So you want to see them throw chingazos? Right?
Yes.
You want to see them throw chingazos, right?
Yes.
Boom. All right. You want to see some chingazos being thrown? Gotcha. All right.
Yes.
That's cool.
But
all right.
I want it to be one of those just epic bounty hunter brawls, man. Just, and I mean, have it just last the entire episode. Like, just have 10 minutes of the episode, like, set everything up, and then the last 25 to 30, just nothing but that fight.
It's that reminds me of something. There's a show called Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's animated, and I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, but it was. And there was an episode. That wouldn't have
migrated to Disney by now.
It might have, but this was years ago. When I saw this episode. This was years ago, and it was a battle of the Avengers and somebody or something or other. But anyways, these episodes are about 45-50 minutes each.
Oh wow!
And like for
a cartoon, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot. And like for 40 minutes, they were fighting. There was a fight for 40 minutes.
Sweet.
And this was like a decade ago that I saw this, or more than a decade ago.
Yeah, but that's how you do it. Just 40 minutes. Just yeah.
Yeah, and I remember watching this, and I was still living in San Antonio at the time, and it was so funny because it was me and my ex-wife. We were watching it, and even she said, and she wasn't super into all this. She was just like, "Wow, this has been going on for a really long time," and I'm like, "Yeah, it really has. This is a really long fight." It was just. And I kind of went back on YouTube, I think like a few months later, and I was like, is this really that long of a fight? And then like everybody was saying in the comment section, yeah, the longest fight ever. And it's imagine watching a Star Wars where it's just nothing but, two bounty hunters going at it for 45 minutes. Yeah, it was just nuts. I'll find it and I'll send it to you, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. It's like it's just so many punches, and they're all epic punches. And nobody's getting knocked out. It was just, it was so funny. I can never forget that, because I don't think I've ever seen that in a show, like, an action show, a fight for 40 minutes.
Well, Book of Boba Fett is gonna rear its head in December.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if everyone was aware, but Disney announced that they were dropping Slave One from Boba Fett's ship.
The name.
I'm sure you heard this, right?
The name, or the ship itself.
They've now renamed it.
To what?
The ship will now be called Fire Spray.
And how? Okay. How are they going to explain that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think the way you explain it is, I don't believe Slave One was really ever mentioned in the movies.
Right. And
except for one very small, literally nanosecond part in Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin take out Zam Wesell.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going back into her original reptilian changeling form, and she kind of muffles the word Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it, but you're not really sure. It just sounds like something muffled.
Right.
But that's as close as we come to hearing it from anything I've seen.
Okay, but it's been referenced.
It's been referenced plenty of times, sure.
Right, and they're
expanded universe,
and Disney is changing the name because.
Oh, do we have to get into that here?
Okay, well, look.
They're changing it for the same reason that they ixnayed the figure from the line. There are no more Slave Leia figures.
Wait, what?
You're not aware of this?
Wait, wait a minute. There's no more Princess Leia's, right?
No, Slave Leia. The Slave Leia outfit from Return of the Jedi. You
right.
cannot find that action figure anymore.
Okay, so you cannot find a hot Carrie Fisher figure anymore.
In the Tatooine slave outfit, you cannot find it.
Why?
It's no longer in production.
Why? It was hot.
Because it felt it was objectifying, so they got rid of it.
Oh my god. You gotta be... Really?
Yes.
Oh, Disney.
You cannot find the figure anymore.
Suck.
No, this was before Disney.
Oh, who did it then? Lucas?
So it was, I think, well, you know what? Maybe it was after the sale. I have to look up what the date of this was when it happened.
How is it objectifying
I remember because
her? Nobody even mentions what she's wearing in the movie.
I remember because I picked up a Black Series of it like right away.
Oh God! No one even mentioned what she was wearing in the movie. You have to remember, Return of the Jedi. It's just like, okay, this is what you're wearing. Nobody says anything.
Look, man, I'm just telling you what happened.
That's so ridiculous.
So that's the same reason for the Slave One thing. It's just,
What?
I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to deal with it.
I mean, I am dealing with it. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but okay, whatever. I don't believe that's objectifying women, right? I think objectification happens when someone actually objectifies, right, a woman for what they're wearing.
Well, I mean, the big thing was why do women have to be slaves? That was the whole thing. I mean,
men were slaves too?
Why does Jabba have to have a slave?
Robots were slaves.
Why does she have to be chained up? I mean, it wasn't just Leia. They were complaining about Ula too.
The dancer?
Yes.
They were complaining about her?
Yeah, she was chained up.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's slavery. Slavery was a thing. I mean, it was a thing. Slave. And Tatooine very much was a
Anakin was a slave.
Anakin was a slave. And Darth Vader was a slave.
Anakin himself was a slave. Yes.
So men were slaves too.
So we've only got a few minutes left. So while we only have a few minutes, just as we always do, we thank Pharaoh's Designs and Bad
Bad
Customs.
Customs. Yep.
We always want to shout them out. But while we have these 4 minutes, I'm not sure if you're aware, but The Matrix 4 got a title and a teaser.
Resurrections. Remember, I spelled it wrong.
Yeah. And
but
they actually showed a slight teaser at something called CinemaCon, which is, I guess, is HBO's version of when Disney meets with its peeps and they show stuff.
Okay.
So HBO was kind of showing everything coming down the pipeline for Warner and HBO Max, and then they showed that teaser of The Matrix 4. And I mean, that first they reveal the title, Resurrections, and then so a teaser description has come out because there's not even a leak of this thing. That's how tight-lipped it is, right? There's not even a leak of it.
Right.
But so apparently the trailer starts with Neo back to his original character, Thomas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's
Anderson,
working.
Thomas Anderson. Yep.
Thomas Anderson, and he's working for his company, and he's in an elevator. And I'm not saying that they swiped this from Equilibrium. It's just that I'm saying that they swiped this from Equilibrium. So it seems what the robots have come up with is that everybody doses on the blue pill every so often instead of jacking them in.
Uh-huh.
So instead of jacking them in, they're constantly on the blue pill to stay in the Matrix. They got a dose on this. Everyone is convinced that they have this condition and they got to take the blue pill, you know.
It's a COVID vaccine.
So yeah,
Sorry.
except this blue pill, I'm not sure if it had FDA approval. So he goes to a coffee shop, and then lo and behold, he walks into the coffee shop to get the coffee. Guess who he sees?
Trinity.
Precisely. And Trinity is back to her persona that was in the Matrix before she was woke. So they're sitting there having coffee, and it's, you know, okay, so yeah, so not only did they pull from Equilibrium, but they pulled from freaking Meet Joe Black, right? So they sit there, they have coffee, and, you know, they're meeting each other allegedly for the first time, and then it begins to dawn on them, you seem oddly familiar. It's like, yeah, no crap, you know, we only fought this impossible war against a machine takeover together, and went searing-eyed blind and got impaled together. I mean, yeah. So then a Morpheus-like character that is not Morpheus, it's some other character, but it's like Morpheus, introduces the red pill to Thomas. And then there you go.
Okay.
Am I a fan of how they're bringing him back? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what they're doing, but considering that one was impaled to who knows what end, and the other one had their eyes soldered off and went through a ass beating against Smith and didn't survive it, and sacrificed himself for the greater good. This teaser just, obviously I'm going to need to go see this because I want to figure out how they did it. I mean, are these maybe replications or something? Did they get some DNA or something and replicate everybody? I mean, I'm just sort of, there has to be something along those lines, because Matrix or no, dead is dead.
Well, not in the movies. Apparently.
No, not in Marvel movies, but other movies, when you're dead, you're dead.
I don't know.
Well, not Star Wars movies. So not Marvel movies and Star Wars movies.
Or movies
because the
in
Emperor,
general.
the Emperor died and came back, but
or
no.
Lord of the Rings. Gandalf.
Who died and came back in Lord of the Rings?
Gandalf.
He didn't die.
What did he do? Whatever. I don't even care.
When
What did he do?
Gandalf die?
Didn't he die at the...
He didn't die. When did...
yes, he died. He was
Are you
Gandalf the
talking
Grey.
about the whole you shall not pass? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that thing. He was Gandalf the Grey, and now he's Gandalf the White.
No,
Trash.
but he didn't die.
I don't know what he did. Dude, I didn't watch the movies.
Yeah, obviously you didn't watch it. So go
Or
back
read
and
the
watch
books.
it and know why he didn't die.
Or read the books. Maybe I'll watch the movies. Maybe.
Watch the extended edition with the appendices.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because I have 8 hours in a day.
Yeah. Go for it.
But all right, man. It's 10 o'clock over here. I'm tired and old, so I'm gonna go to bed. But hey,
and I'm hurting.
Well, I hope you feel better, man. But
thank you.
Good show. I'm glad we were able to get back in. We'll oh, wait a minute, hold on, let me see. This Monday coming up is a holiday.
Why?
And, huh?
Why?
What do you mean? It's Labor Day. It's Labor Day.
Okay.
It's Labor Day. So let's let everyone know. We'll be back on the 13th. All right, which is
that sounds fine. Yeah.
That following Monday. We'll be back on the 13th. We'll take a break next week.
Like we always do.
Like we all well we were consistent this week. We
were.
Yeah. And now we're back.
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll have a little bit more to talk about. But Brian, I hope you stay safe. I hope you and Anna are doing well. You and the kitty committee take care, and we'll yubn up out of here, and we'll talk in a couple weeks, man.
All right. Yep,
all right, man. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.